This is your Daily Mix. The following segment is sponsored by SilverSummit Health Plan.
Welcome everyone to your Daily Mix. Today we have Dr. Jeff Morawski, or Dr. Jeff, as we like to call him here on Daily Mix. He is talking to us about something that is incredibly important and something that fortunately we've heard a lot more about in the last year post-COVID. We're talking about substance use disorder. It's a bigger problem than we had before, Dr. Jeff.
Yeah, unfortunately, the pandemic was really stressful on everybody and continues to be for some even more. And substance use disorder, which used to be called substance abuse disorder, is really when, the use of a substance, alcohol, tobacco, heroin, prescription drugs, when it escalates to the point where it harms you physically, emotionally, or socially. And so then that's when you have substance use disorder. And the stressors of the pandemic have kind of increased it. And we've seen that about 13 to 15% of people have increased their substance use during the pandemic. And that's concerning.
Yeah, talk a little bit, especially for Nevada, some of those vulnerable populations, really, when it comes to substance use.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that there are individuals, people who are isolated are obviously more likely to have substance use, and that goes with social determinants of health. So if you don't have a car, you're traditionally in a population that's been more isolated or has had less trust in the medical field. Those things will cause increased rates of substance use disorder. Our minority communities, our communities of color, have traditionally been those communities. And so we've seen those rates increase when make sure people are aware and that they reach out and get help.
You think to yourself, I may be drinking a little bit more wine. I may be, partaking a little bit more of this, that, and the other. Or maybe there's someone What are some of the signs and symptoms that you should look out for yourself and for others?
Yeah, I think the first is withdrawal. If you find yourself not connecting with your normal social group, and during COVID, boy, that's hard to tell. So really thinking about it now as we're coming out and we get vaccinated and we join the community, am I reconnecting in the way I did before? Am I feeling withdrawn? Am I seeing friends who are not coming out yet and going, are they, is there an issue? Asking is actually a good question. Are you having trouble? Is there something going on? Uncontrolled anger. And then in kids, you really see these major changes in behavior in teenagers, where it's not just teenage moodiness, it's significant teenage angst, teenage anger, teenage disconnection, big changes in school or changes in your colleagues at work are things to look for.
Gosh, when you think about it, it's not just the adults, right? As you mentioned, could be dealing with this issue, kids too. So parents, be aware. Being, of course, the Chief Medical Officer at SilverSummit Health Plan, what are you all doing to try to tackle this issue here in our community?
Thank you for asking. The first thing we do is really make sure people are aware of it, right? This is a real problem with real challenges. And so we want to make sure that people know and that the biggest support group we have, which is our friends and family, are engaged in helping us solve the problem. We want to make sure that we help bring doctors into the community and grow our mental health treatment. We want to make sure that our members have access to great mental health care or even some great self-care things that can help with the kind of early stages of substance use trouble, where you can do that on your own and get some help with your primary care doc. So, we want to do a breadth of things that help. And then general awareness raising obviously is critically important.
How can people get a hold of you all? If you've got information, I'm sure, online, what's the first maybe? And for a lot of people, this may be the first step.
Yeah, absolutely. SilverSummitHealthPlan.com. So www.SilverSummitHealthPlan.com is our website. There's some resources there that you can click to. There's also something called SAMHSA. So www.samhsa.gov. That's the governmental agency that does a lot for mental health. And there's wonderful resources there as well.
Dr. Jeff, thank you so much. Such an important issue for our community, for our state, really for our country, everyone around. Parents, doesn't matter the age. This is something, if you think you have a problem, definitely take a look into. Dr. Jeff, thank you so much for your help.
Thank you.
This segment was sponsored by SilverSummit Health Plan.
Special Olympics Nevada is making it possible for athletes with and without intellectual disabilities to play together all year long. Our Champion Schools program teaches inclusive sports, leadership, health and fitness, and it's fun for students of all ages. Teachers that are trained and implement the Champion Schools program can receive professional development credits. For more information on how to start up or enhance a Champion Schools program, go to sonv.org.